All right. Welcome, everyone. Whether you are joining live, maybe a little bit late, or if you're watching the recording, thank you so much for being here. I am very excited to guide you through our second info and Zoom and A Q&A call for our Root to Rise yoga retreat. I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. If anyone pop up a little bit late, just follow along. But let's get started. Right. Okay. So these are the main information about the retreat. It's called Root to Rise and is a yoga and a self-discovery retreat that's going to happen in my home country, Brazil, at Moksha Surf Yoga Villas, more specifically in Itamambuca Beach, which is a beach in Ubatuba town in the state of São Paulo. Okay. The retreat's going to happen from the 20th through the 26th of May. So from Wednesday all the way through Tuesday. So it's a 7 day, 6 night sort of retreat. In today's call, we're going to be covering a little bit, what Root to Rise is all about. Like, what are we going to be doing there? Like, why are we going to this retreat in the first place? We're going to cover a little bit of logistics around travel, arrival, departure. We're going to talk about the town we're staying, talk about the villa, and about what to expect with the schedule. We'll definitely cover food, the excursions, and what are we going to do during the free time, and what's included, what's not included, what's the investment in the retreat. And at the end, I already received some questions from people that are interested that I want to make sure to cover. But again, if you have any extra questions, feel free to just send them my way. Okay, so let's get started. Just a little disclaimer before we keep going. If you are watching this recording and you already signed up for the trip, I'm going to kind of go over again a few things that you're probably already aware of. But don't worry, as we get closer and closer to the retreat, like in our April and May calls, we're going to go really deep into all the nitty-gritty of the trip. Okay, I'm gonna speak more about that as we go. But let's keep going. Okay, so Root to Rise is a retreat that I created to really help us reset and reconnect. That's right, it's root, right? So we're gonna root, reset, go back in, and then reconnect so that we can rise a lot more connected, a lot stronger in our authenticity, with a lot more clarity about the things that really matter to us. So we're gonna spend a whole week in Brazil practicing yoga every single day. If you're not, if you're not a practitioner that have been keeping up with your practice very consistently, you don't have to worry. We're not going to be doing just strong vinyasa flows every day. It's going to be a really good mix of vinyasa, slow flow, yin, and restorative yoga. Okay, so we'll be a well-rounded practice. Oh my gosh, my tongue, there's something going on with it today. Okay, another thing we're going to be doing there is self-discovery practices. So we're going to have a few workshops to dive a little bit deeper into the essence of who we are. We're going to do quite a bit of journaling practices and anyway, all of that to really help you reconnect with your essence, okay, with the truth of who you are. We'll be definitely spending a lot of time in nature. Waterfall, river, in the ocean, hopping around the islands, and I cannot wait for this portion of the retreat. Um, of course, you're going to have the chance to explore Brazil through its, raw culture. So we're going to be eating Brazilian food and really experimenting with the slow living and also energized living that we find in my culture. And of course, all these days for you to rest, reset, and come back home feeling a lot more grounded and connected. Um, If you are wondering a little bit about the flow, like of how the trip is going to work as you come to Brazil, how the retreat's going to work, and how your departure, this is a very easy overview for you to understand everything that's going to happen. So, if you are leaving, to go to Brazil from the US, you're going to most likely have to leave the US on May 19th, okay? Because you want to arrive at the GRU airport in São Paulo on the 20th, either early morning or early afternoon, okay? And then we're gonna have the private transfer to take you to the villa, to Ubatuba. And the day you arrive on the retreat, right, on the 20th, we're going to have a little bit of time to settle in. There are going to be snacks available for you. So if you get there, you're like kind of hungry, don't worry, there will be some yummy snacks waiting for you. Also, we're going to start to line up for our 30-minute welcome massage that is included in the package. After that, we're gonna have dinner and then our opening circle to really connect, to like settle into the energy of the retreat and get the retreat started. Followed by that, we're gonna have again the 7 days of yoga, nature, culture, connection, fun, rest. And our big closing, it's going to be on the last night of the retreat, meaning on May 25th, okay? And I chose to do that because, I know that some people that are joining us, they want to extend their trip. So once the retreat is over, like officially on May 26th, I know that some people are going to be renting a car in Ubatuba and taking a road trip to Rio de Janeiro, which is really close, like probably 3 hours by car, you can reach Rio. And so for the people that are really wanting to, for the people that are really wanting to get their trip going on the last day of the retreat, you can feel totally free to leave as soon as you wake up in the morning because the only thing we're going to have on the last day of the retreat, it's a very light yoga like morning practice followed by breakfast and then a free time to either pack or you can 100%, go and take your last dip in the ocean if you're like super, already missing Itamambuca, which I can totally see it happening. Um, and then we'll go back to the villa, have lunch, and then as soon as lunch is over at 1 p.m., our transfer is going to take you back to the GRU, like for the people that are going back to the airport, okay? And again, maybe you're going to the airport not necessarily to go back home, like maybe you're going to the airport to explore another state in Brazil, but you're going to have that transfer anyways, okay? Taking you to the main airport in São Paulo, which is Guarulhos, GRU. Okay, so as I said, the transfer is 100% included in your package. So the transfer is going to pick you up in Guarulhos, bring you straight to the villa where I'm going to be there waiting for you, and then it's going to take you back to the GRU on departure day. What if my flight is delayed, Fernanda? Am I going to be there alone? Am I going to have to figure it out a way to meet you at the beach for the retreat? Not at all. You don't have to worry about that. If your flight is delayed, it doesn't matter if it's 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, we will figure it out. And you are going to have a transfer to bring you to the villa, okay? No matter what happens. So breathe, relax, everything's gonna be okay. Um, if you're worried about the meeting point, like how am I going to know where my transfer is going to be? Who is my transfer? All these details you're going to receive as we get closer to the retreat date. I'm going to create a WhatsApp group where you're going to have access to all these nitty-gritty informations, more like in live time, all together with the group. So you don't have to worry about that yet, but know that's going to be very clear, very organized, okay? Now, let's speak a little bit about Ubatuba, Itamambuca. Ubatuba is this beach that stays in the town of Ubatuba, again in the state of São Paulo. And this is one of my most favorite beaches, if not my most favorite, truly, in Itamambuca, because it is a very special place. It's a super well preserved beach. So, unlikely like some other beaches around town, you'll see like it's pretty like very a lot of people, it's like tourists and it's kind of by the road so you can see the cars passing by, but Itamambuca it's a very secluded beach, so we're 100% immersed in the jungle, in the nature, and it is stunning. The community that live in Itamambuca, it's a very local community, and they have this really dope like regulation and community associations that help protect Itamambuca. So it feels truly untouched and raw, and it's just an amazing place to be. So I can't wait to share it with you. And then as soon as you get there, you will definitely right away feel that energy because like the streets itself, they're not like concrete streets, they're like dirt roads. And if you talk to the locals and be like, don't you guys want to, like pave the streets and like get off the dirt roads, and they definitely say that they don't want, because that is also part of keeping Itamambuca preserved as it is. So I think that that's super awesome. Um, and then as you get to the beach, you know, the beach is a white sand beach, very thin sand, super nice. The water is very clear. And you also definitely find the Brazilian beach vendors walking around selling some very fun food like fresh acai bowls, roasted corn, queijo coalho on the grill, which is a type of cheese that I don't even know for sure if we have it here in the US, but it's so good. And yeah, it is the classic Brazil beach, even though it's not crowded and super touristy, you know? And another really cool thing I enjoy and I like about Itamambuca is that we have the beach, right? The Itamambuca Beach, but we also have the Itamambuca River that, you know, go all the way through the beach. And so if you're like, okay, on the third day of the retreat, you're like tired of salt water, you don't want to like bathe in the ocean on that day, totally fine. You just walk to the right side of the beach and you can bathe in the river waters, which is so nice as well. So super excited, as you can tell, that we're gonna go there. Um, but then let's talk a little bit about the place that we're staying. So we're staying at Moksha Surf Yoga Villas, which is a super cozy, sweet, cute villa in Itamambuca. I had the chance to meet the owners the last time I went there to Brazil, and they are a very sweet couple. They're very young, super lively, like good energy, and they take such good care of the space. And the space is located, as you can see, like immersed in the jungle. So you're going to be surrounded by trees. And there's also a river that goes right next to the villa. So one of the pieces of the space is this grassy area where you have river access. You know, you can like put your blanket out there, you can sunbathe, jump in the river, and within 2 minutes walk, you're back into your room. So super dope. But the space also counts with, you know, all the rooms, they have fans and private bathrooms. They have a shared space for meals where we're going to be having most of our meals. They have the hangout areas with hammocks and couches where you can just chill, read, rest. And the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful yoga room for our practices with tons of natural light. And yeah, it's a beautiful space. The villa is also very well located. We are 15-minute walk to the Itamambuca Beach, 15-minute walk to a waterfall that it's literally just across the road. I'm gonna even zoom in here a little bit on the map so you can look at these birds that we're gonna see. They are my favorite birds. I have no idea like what they're called, but you see them a lot in Itamambuca and they're the cutest. But anyways, so the waterfall, as I was mentioning before, is just across this road. You see that that's the 101 main road. It's kind of like I-5, you know? And then we cross that and then we go straight into the waterfall. And then 15-minute walk, you go to the beach, and 7-minute walk, you get to this main road in Itamambuca, which is where you're going to find all the, you know, gelato shops and restaurants, ice cream shops, like the padarias, which is a must try, you know, like in your free time one day, you have to go there and try some treats. Um, yeah, so it's a really dope space. Okay, if you are worried or thinking about the daily schedule and how the transportation is going to work, the transportation is going to work with a private van that's going to take us to all these places and bring us back to the villa. They're going to be like there and available for us at all times. And the schedule, like each day is going to change a little bit, right? Sometimes we're going to be in an excursion and then it takes a little bit more time. Maybe one day we're going to be doing a yoga class that goes a little bit longer because of a workshop that we're going to kind of slide in or an activity. And then breakfast is going to be a little bit later. Our outing is going to be a little bit later, but it will never be so much different than what you're seeing in here. Okay. So we're going to start our mornings at 7:30 a.m. with yoga, self-discovery, and mindfulness practices going until 9. At 9, we just walk to the little restaurant place in the villa, and then we're going to have our breakfast. Right after breakfast, we take out for our excursion, or in one of the days, we're going to have a yoga workshop. Um, That will be over around 1 p.m. when then we're gonna have lunch. After that, we are gonna have free time. Okay, so this free time is gonna go mo most of the days from 2:30 p.m. until 5:30 or 6. And I'm gonna speak a little bit about what you do in the free time very soon. Um, 6 p.m. dinner, followed by a yin or restorative yoga practice, and or a bonfire, stargazing. Some nights we might even want to go to the beach at night, which is super beautiful, stunning, and safe. So we'll see. We'll play by ear, but there's always going to be an evening activity so we can keep connecting with ourselves and each other. Um, Next. Okay, what to expect from the meals? They sent me very recently this amazing videos from some of the meals that they had with a past retreat, and my mouth is like watering just to watch. But all the meals at the villa, they are vegetarian because it's a vegetarian villa, and they're going to be cooked by a Brazilian chef with very fresh, local Brazilian ingredients. Okay. These are just some samples that they send me, but all of these can be changed based on, whatever the group that's going to the trip decides on. So, for example, if most people are like, oh, I don't like black bean, like I don't like stew, we're gonna come up with a different menu. But these, as they told me, is like the most wanted meals that they provide for other retreats that they host in there. Okay. So you can kind of take a look at what it is. I'm not going to go through all of it. You can see it, it's a lot of information, but so you can have just like a quick overview. Okay. Um, all right. Let's keep going. If you are wondering about the excursions, because I know a lot of you are super interested in this piece of the retreat, so I'm going to just kind of speak a little bit about what to expect from each one. So in one of the days, we're going to go to the Primarine waterfall, which is this stunning waterfall that has two kind of like two swimming pools. It has this upper one, this lower one. It's a fairly easy hike, like probably 10 to 20 minutes max to reach the first fall, and you don't even need specific shoes for that. It is like it's dirt, but it's not something like, oh, we need like hiking boots and things like that. You can totally do it in your, I don't know, not hokas, how do you call those sandals? Tivas, or the other brand that I forgot. You can 100% just wear those and be totally fine. Okay. Another day, we're going to have our surf class for beginners. I am super excited about it because I've never done any sort of surf class before. I actually don't feel very comfortable with waves at all. But I'm excited to try because it's going to be a beginner, very friendly yoga class. And in May, the waves are usually not that big. So it's going to be just fine. And they also said, the instructors mentioned to me that since the beach, it's kind of large, it has like different pockets where you can find different like sizes of waves. And so they're going to take each person to the size of the beach where they feel most comfortable trying. And it's going to be very targeted like that. We're going to like each person's going to have an instructor, yeah, with them as they're going in the water. So that made me feel more comfortable. And so if you're worried about this portion, it could maybe make you feel more comfortable as well. All right. After that, we're going to have a private boat trip to check some of the very stunning, dope, beautiful, gorgeous, whatever you want to call, islands and hidden beaches in Ubatuba. The boat is a very comfortable boat. It fits around 14 people comfortably in the boat. But again, the retreat, it's going to be the max like 11 of us, right? 10 participants with me. So plenty of space. The boat on top of having coverage, so you don't need to be worried about, oh, it's just like too sunny. How long are we going to be out there? Like, because it has coverage from the sun, and it also has a bathroom. So you don't have to be worried, like, what if I have to go to the restroom? Like, are we going to stop? No, the restroom is there for us to use at any time during the trip. And this is the only day where we're going to be most of the day out. Okay, so we're gonna have our morning practice, breakfast, go out for the boat, and then we'll come back, rest a little bit, and then go for dinner. Okay. In one of the days, we're gonna do kayaking. And for the kayaking, as I said, it's going to happen in the Itamambuca River, so very close to where we're going to be staying and all. And the waters of the river are extremely calm, so you're not going to be like an adventurous kayaking situation. It's going to be more chill. And we're going to have access to the kayaks for about 3 hours. Okay, so we're going to be taking our time. We can like pause in little pockets, like have a little snack, hang out, chat. I might even bring some sort of activities for us to do. But it's going to be very fun and relaxing. And then there's going to be 2 evenings that we're going to go to have dinner out in town. In one of the nights, we're going to go to Itamambuca town, which is on that main road where I spoke about a little bit ago. And I want to take you to one of my favorite restaurants in Tamambuca. It's called Padang. And they have a variety of Brazilian food, but also some more not necessarily Brazilian meals that if you're like, oh, I don't want to do Brazilian meal, I want to do just like a pizza, I want to do just like whatever. They have other options as well, which is going to be fun. And the other night, we're going to go to Ubatuba town to explore, which is where then they are going to have this very cute little street with some fun stores that you can buy souvenirs and things like that if you're interested. And the ocean is right here in this horizon. So past this grassy thing, it's already the beach. So it's super cool. Um, okay. So, as I said, what will be there to do during the free time? We're going to have free time, as I mentioned in here, probably from 2:30 to 5:30 or 6 p.m. every single day. So, what am I going to do during this time? I wanted to give this free time in the retreat you all because, at least for me, if I'm going to a retreat that I know that I'm expected to be doing things 24/7, I will most likely freak out because even though I love like hanging out and spending time together, some days like all I want is just to be reading or, taking a nap in the hammock. So I wanted to offer that for people as well so they don't feel like they have to be on go, go, go mode. And also because again, the retreat is called Root to Rise, and we cannot rise if we're just like overwhelming our nervous system all day, just like doing things the whole time. Okay. So I wanted to give you this option for people that want to take rest during this time. But if you're like, I'm in Brazil, I want to, make the most of my time. I want to do things on my free time. We have plenty of options as well. So as I said, you can walk to the beach, 15-minute walk. You can walk to the waterfall that's nearby. The villa that we're going to be staying with another 15-minute walk. You can walk to town for those cute restaurants that you can kind of just browse around, like grab a coffee, grab ice cream, anything. You can 100% Uber to another beach. Itamambuca is surrounded by many other gorgeous beaches. Ubatuba, no, Uber works really good in Ubatuba. So if you're like, I just want to enjoy these 3 hours that I'll have free to go to a beach that is 20 minutes away. Perfect. You can hop on an Uber, go to the beach, hang out for an hour, come back, and then join us for our next activity. Okay. And some days I will be definitely doing that myself during the free time. So we can kind of just like plan and, hang out and do it together if we want to. Another things you can do around Itamambuca if you want to stay in the area, you can book an extra massage. The same ladies that are going to give you your welcome massage, they're going to be available for another either 30-minute massage or a whole hour. And I already put the prices in here so you can kind of calculate a little bit, you know, based on what you think you want to do during the free time. You can also rent a bike, which is only 20 bucks per day. So maybe you want to rent it like really early in the morning. If you wake up at 5 in the morning, you can go rent a bike and then kind of bike around, before we start with our yoga class at 7:30. And then you also still have that bike for the free time on that day. So it could be a good option as well. Um, you can take a surf lesson, another surf lesson. If you really love your first one and you're like, I want to take another one and another one so I can keep practicing, you can 100% do that. And you can also rent a kayak again or even a paddleboard. Okay. And again, the use is for 3 hours and it costs $20 for those 3 hours. Okay. So really good deals, really good deals. Okay, and yeah, and as I said in here, like as we get closer to the retreat for everybody that signed up, I'm gonna send a very organized PDF with all this information, like how do I rent, like how do I book the massage, like how do I pay, all these things you're gonna find in this um, PDF that I'll provide. So no need to worry. Okay, so what is included and what is not included in the retreat? What is included? All the daily yoga and self-discovery practices, all the 6 nights, 7 days in this very, sorry, excuse me, in this very cozy accommodation at Moksha Yoga Villa in Itamambuca, all most of the wholesome vegetarian meals, as I mentioned before, refreshing non-alcoholic beverages, the airport transfers, 30-minute welcome massage, and all the excursions. So that is all included. What is not included though? Your flights, you're going to have to be responsible for that. Same with the travel insurance. If you want recommendations, I have some to send it to you. Just let me know. And again, if you are already booked for the trip, you don't have to worry yet because I will also cover these details in our calls in April and May. Okay. Any optional extra excursions or experiences, as I mentioned before, with the things that you want to do during the free time. On the boat trip day that we're going to be going all around the islands, we're going to have lunch in a restaurant in one of the beaches that we're going to stop. And that lunch is not covered in here because again, I wanted to give you the chance to try different foods and experiment, whatever it is that you feel that it's calling you on the menu on that day, straight at the restaurant. Same thing with the 2 dinners that we're going to have in town. They're also not covered in your package and any personal expenses. Okay, let me drink a little water. Mm. So if we're talking about the investments on this trip, if you want to stay you and yourself alone in a single room with a queen bed, the price is 2,300 per person. If you want to stay in a double room, you can choose if you want to stay in a room with 2 twin beds, where then you can either book it with a friend and let me know so I can put you both in the same room, or you are going to be open to stay with another participant in that room. Just a disclaimer, you're not going to ever stay in a room if it's not with a participant with the same gender as you, okay? So you don't have to worry about that. And all of that will be talked through with you as well. But if you're going with a partner or with a friend and you want to sleep in a queen bed together, totally fine as well. But still, this price of 1,900 is per person. Okay. So each person has to pay this specific price. A deposit of $550 is what holds your spot. And this piece of the payment is a non-refundable piece. Your first payment is going to happen on March 20th, final payment on April 17th. Okay. The cancellation policy up to 90 days before the retreat starts. I'm happy to give your money back, minus your 550 deposit plus the fees from the We Travel platform. But if you're trying to cancel less than 90 days of the start of the retreat is non-refundable. But I am 100% happy to help you find somebody to fill up your spot. So then, whoever wants to sign up for the retreat, they can pay it for you and they just come with the money that you already paid. I put it in here that we have only 8 spots available, but we have actually just had, right before this call started, 2 more people booked. So now we have actually 6 spots available. Okay, only 6 spots available. And, I'm keeping this retreat very small because I want it to be intimate. I want it to be sweet. I want us to have real time to look people in the eye, know their names, connect with each other. And I think like 10 people, it's a good group. It's a good group. And just if you're wondering, like, is there a possibility that the retreat will be sold out? Yes, there is a possibility, and it's likely to sell out around April. Okay, I've been talking to a few people that are waiting on some responses from either work or general life events, but they said that they're most likely going to close around April. So if you want to save your spot, this is the time for that. Okay. And now we're going to move then into the Q&A portion of it. As I said in the beginning, these are some questions that I've gotten from people that are interested already. But please, please, please feel free to send me any extra questions you have, and I will happily answer. Okay. So first question, is the retreat 100% confirmed to happen? Yes, 100%. We don't have a minimum number of participants to make the retreat to happen. And now we have 4 people that are already signed up. So the retreat's happening. Book your flights, book your room, and let's get going. If you're wondering what's the group vibe, as I said, it's a very small retreat because I wanted to feel very intimate. And from the people that signed up already, the age range is going from 25 years old all the way through 40, okay? 2 of the participants are coming solo, the other 2 are family. Então, so if you want to bring, your partner, your kids that are like teenagers, like you're 100% welcome to bring them into it. Okay. This is not a retreat that you're going to be expected to be on go, go, go mode. I've said that before. I'm going to repeat it because I think it's an important information. I know that some people come to the retreat and they want to be doing things from 6 in the morning until nighttime. This is not that kind of retreat. So if you're looking for that, Rich Rise is not for you. But if you're working for a retreat that is balancing really well, doing things and rest, Root to Rise is for you. That's the vibe that I'm creating with this experience. I also got this very cool question. What if I am not flexible? I have never done yoga before, so I'm not into spirituality. I have never traveled outside the country alone, and I'm afraid of water. Those are the questions that I got from one person. And I was so happy that I got that question because I'm sure it's a question that's in a lot of people's mind. But I wanted to assure you that that is 100% okay. You don't have to be practicing yoga for a while to participate. All my classes are for all levels of practitioners. So you're going to have like a big range, a variety of things that you can modify and do it differently if what I'm offering feels like too much for you. You don't have to worry about that. And also if you've practiced it with me at all, like I'm 100% a non-performative type of teacher. So if you're not very familiar with my classes, feel free to go on my YouTube channel and take a few classes so that you can kind of feel my vibe. But you're not expected to be a yoga, super yogi, 10 years of practice to join this retreat. Okay. And we are going to tap a little bit into spirituality because yoga, it is also a spiritual practice, but we're not going to be doing like rituals that are, overly like, whoa, like woo woo, We're going to be doing very grounding things that, yes, will help you remember your spirituality without forcing you into something that you're not quite ready to experience or come in touch with. So it's going to be perfect. And if you're traveling alone, as I said, if you've never traveled outside the country before, don't worry because I'll be there with you to support you during the whole time. And the only thing you have to do is to literally hop on the plane, either here in Seattle or in any other airport, depending on where you're coming from. And as soon as you get to the Guarulhos airport in Brazil, we're going to have our transfer there waiting for you. It's going to take you to the villa. I will be there. We're going to be together doing things. And on the way back, same thing. The transfer is going to take you back to the airport, and then you're going to land back in your hometown airport. Okay, so pretty easy. Um, if you're afraid of water, you don't want to surf, you don't want to kayak, 100% fine. As I said, the beach has plenty of options for you to kind of just hang around. And if you're like, I don't even like the beach, then I would maybe tell you to reconsider because this retreat is happening on the beach. So if you're not like a beach person, maybe this retreat is not for you. But if you're into the beach, just not very into the water, just come, hang in the sand while we're doing the excursion. As soon as we're out of the water, you can come. And on the surf day, especially, since it's going to be like 10 people, and I said each instructor is going to be, along with one participant at the time, we're going to kind of be rotating. So it's not like everyone is going to be in the water at the same time. Some group is going to be in the water, the other rest of the group will be in the sand waiting their time. So you can just be hanging with us if you don't want to participate. I feel like I'm talking a lot, but I guess this is an info and Q&A call, right? So we're here for it. Okay. Is the area safe? 100% safe. Ubatuba itself, it's a very safe town, but Itamambuca, it's even more safer because as I said, it's a very local community, okay? It's peaceful, it's quiet, especially in May because it's off season. So things are still open, like things are still happening, but you're not going to find like tourists in there because again, off season. And for all the transfers to the excursions and things we're going to be doing, they're going to be done with people that I know and that I trust. As I said, I went last year to Brazil and I stayed at Moksha Villas myself, and it was an amazing experience. I got to know the owners personally, like got to really connect with them. And they were the ones that sent me all the information about, the excursions, like who to talk with. So these are all people that have been living in Itamambuca for years and years and years, and it's just like very nice people, So you are totally safe. During the free time, though, if you want to go to another beach, like hop on the Uber, go to another beach, or go to town by yourself, you can totally do that. Just be where, like you would be where in any other place that you're traveling to. How's the internet and the Wi-Fi? We have Wi-Fi in the villa. It works good for, message, email, video calls. It can be a little slow and glitchy at times. So I wouldn't tell you to, rely on the internet to have like a work call, for example. And my wish is truly that you're not even coming with this mindset of working. So if you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to work, maybe hang on. Maybe don't book this retreat yet. We are going to have other retreats coming up in the next, like in 2028. Maybe you wait for that because this is not a work trip. It's truly for you to unplug, disconnect, recharge, and then go back to work, go back to your life. Okay. When we're outside of the villa, though, of course, we're not going to have Wi-Fi. So you have to check with your carrier, how does it work for you to have access to your own internet while you are in Brazil? Because you're going to need internet when you land at the airport in Brazil. If you're like, oh, I can't find the transfer, anything that happens, need to be able to communicate with me, right? So you need to have internet for that. And also for your free time. I think it's just good to know that you are going to have internet if you're exploring by yourself. Um, how does money work in Brazil? Should I bring cash? Card works really, really good in Brazil. And there is also a payment method that we use a lot in Brazil called Pix or PIX, Pix, and it's very similar to Zelle. We could also, go through some payments like that if you'd like, because I do have a Brazilian bank account where you could Zelle me and I could Pix people for you. But if you do want to have a little bit of more, like autonomy with your time, with how you're spending your money without relying on me and or necessarily on card, I would recommend that you bring like 15 or $100 max exchanged in reais so that you can use to pay small little purchases that you want to do it either on the beach or in town. Do I need a visa for Brazil? Yes, you do. Don't freak out. Not yet, because first, it's a very simple and easy process. You do it online. It's an e-visa for tourism. The whole process you can do again online, and it costs around $153, but it lasts for 10 years. And it allows you to stay in Brazil 90 days at the time. So if you're going for the retreat and you're like, you know what, I love Brazil, I want to do a sabbatical and I'm going to stay for another 2 months, you can totally do that. Isn't that awesome? Um, anyways, and the reason why I told you to not do anything about it just yet is because um, it only takes up to 20 business days for you to get your visa back. So you could do it now, but you'd be kind of wasting, a little piece of those 10 years already. But if you're like, I don't care, I want to do it right away, so I get it off my mind, okay, fine, go ahead and do it. But if you try to go to the process, as I said, it's a very easy process. But if you go through it and you're like, I don't feel confident, I need help, I need support, I am here. I'll help you, happily help you, okay? But I will do that in a Zoom call that we're going to do in mid-April. So save the date, mid-April, we're going to have a call where then we're going to go through the whole e-visa process together live on Zoom, okay? But I left you a link in here you can click. It's going to take you straight. I'm going to actually click on it. It's going to take you straight to this website and you can just go in here, apply to e-visa right now. And there you go. You're just going to keep filling all those forms and pretty easy. Okay. So, okay. What do I pack? If you are kind of like me, overly organized, you might be worried already, like, what should I pack for this trip? Do I need to buy anything in advance that I want to take? I will send you a packing list in early May. And why early May? Because I'll get in Brazil like on May 6th. Our retreat starts on the 20th. I'll be there on the 6th already. And I'll be at the villa. I'll be at Moksha. I'll be there a little bit hanging out by myself with family. I'll also lead another retreat before Route to Rise in the same spot. So I'll pretty much be leaving at Moksha for the whole month of May. And since I'm going to be there already, I'll have a much more, real feedback to give to you around weather, around temperature, around if it's windy, around, what kind of like, do you need a sweater? Like, it's super hot, you don't need a sweater at all of that. I'll be able to give you more accurate information. But if, again, for whatever reason, you're like, can you give that packing list a little earlier because I might want to order stuff to bring it with me? I can. Okay, just let me know. How will communication work before and during the retreat? It's going to work through our WhatsApp group. If you're not familiar with WhatsApp, it's kind of like a texting app that works amazingly in Brazil. I don't think a lot of people in the US use this app, but it's huge in Brazil. And we're going to be using that to keep the communication live, easy, and accessible for everyone. So everything, like I'm going to create that group right in the beginning of May. And then, yeah, I'm going to add everybody that signed up in the group. I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself so you get to know each other a little bit already. We're going to be talking, about the retreat itself. I'll probably be sending you photos to get you excited because, as I said, I'm going to be there already. But that's going to be our main form of communication before and during the retreat. Oh, and I think that that's it. I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And I wanted to thank you for being part of this info and Q&A call. As I said, this is the second call. If you want to have access to the first one where I cover a little bit of different information, I'm going to leave the description down below and you can click on that and just queue it up to watch. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to send them my way. I'd be happy to answer. And I would love to have you in the retreat with us. So I'll see you there.